Everybody's telling you what you should do to be a successful Airbnb host. Nobody's telling you what you should not do. Here's 5 things that you need to stop doing before 2020 if you want to be a successful host on Airbnb. My name's Rakidzich. This is Airbnb Automated, and let's fix some bad habits, shall we? Welcome back, Airbnb family. So it's really funny. People ask me what house I would be in Harry Potter, and I found this Slytherin cup. And I don't know if I'd be Slytherin, but there's a couple things about them that are cool. You know, Snape was Slytherin, and he was a really good guy. So it's possible to be both good and Slytherin. All right, but back to the video. There's 5 things that I want to talk to you about that you should stop doing. Some of these are obvious, and some of these are not so obvious. So this video I actually shot before, and I got a little bit too in-depth on one because I was actually calling some people out. We're not going to do that today. We're just going to kind of play nice. We're going to stay in our lane. But the first one that I need to tell you has very much to do with the people that you listen to. So before you listen to me anymore, please like this video because it helps the video algorithm and help other hosts across the world learn to host better, because that's what we're here for. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit that notification bell, set that notification to all videos so you can see all videos. And I would love to hear your feedback in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to shoot a video on. Those of you who ask for those videos, you've been marvelously helpful. So number 1 is you need to be more discerning about where you're getting your advice. Let me give you a few examples. I'm not going to start with the one you think I'm going to start with. Okay, so there is a group on Facebook called Airbnb Finest Hosts. Do not be fooled. That doesn't mean that everybody in the group is the finest hosts. It usually tends to be more of the complaints department of Airbnb hosts. They want to complain and vent about guests. Well, something happened. A woman had a guest that was not paying and would not leave, and she asked that group what she should do, and hosts all over the world, keyboard commandos, gave her advice, and they gave her bad advice. They wanted her to stage a raid or stage a break-in or take the front door off, shut the electricity off, all sorts of different things. And in the real estate world, for a tenant, which this person stayed long enough to be a tenant in California, I think it was Cali, by being a tenant, you doing that stuff is called self-help. And self-help as a landlord is super, super bad, and some of that is even illegal. And she got arrested because she took advice from the wrong people. Right? So there are going to be people who claim that they know what they're doing just because they have a listing or two, and you shouldn't necessarily listen to them. Another example, there's a guy who has a course, and he has all these ads on YouTube right now. He's just jamming you with ads just so that way he can sell his silly little course. He tells you not to put your listing on Instant Book. That's like the worst advice ever. And let me tell you why. If you make a listing and you're not on Instant Book, you will get searched for less, because Instant Book is one of the main things that people search for as a feature. Airbnb also slightly lowers your SEO automatically because you're not an Instant Book property also. So you have an SEO drop because you're not Instant Book. You get way less views. And now, because you get way less views over time, your view velocity, as you could call it, the number of people that view your listing per day, since that's gone down, your SEO performance goes down, which means that you get less bookings, and listings that have like near 100% occupancy also get an SEO boost, and they get this little like rare gem badge and all this different stuff. So by ever not being on Instant Book, like when you're new, you also get like a new listing SEO boost. When not being on Instant Book at the prime of your listing's life especially, it will permanently destroy your ranking presence on Airbnb. If you want your listing to forever underperform, then listen to this guy and stay off of Instant Book. Okay, that's the problem. Now he also tells you to get stupid business cards, like ones on Vistaprint. And me being a sales consultant, before you guys knew me on Airbnb, I'm still a consultant for newspapers. Hearst Corporation, McClatchy, Fort Worth Star Telegram, Houston Chronicle, Miami Herald, like newspapers, right? I help them sell more. And there's nothing harder in the world to sell than a newspaper subscription. I'll tell you that, especially right now with the internet. Because you're watching this video for free on the internet, aren't you, right? Where instead of paying a journalist for this kind of stuff, you're getting it for free. When I teach people to sell, first impressions are everything. You need to work on yourself. And that business card that you leave somebody with is an extension of you. They walk away and you've got this really cheap Vistaprint business card. That does not say good things about how you run your business. It does not say that you're trustworthy. It does not say that you've invested in your business. It says, I'm a new business person who gets their stuff on Vistaprint and I have no clue what I'm doing. That's what those business cards do. So cut that out too. All right. There's other things that he says, and I won't go in as deep, but he tells you to buy secondhand furniture, which It saves you a little bit of money on the way in, but it really drastically reduces your ability to design your home. And if you don't design your home well for photos, like if you don't plan your listing before you pick up your lease or buy your home, you look at that living room and you design it, and you make sure that whatever the final product is going to be is going to make you as much money as possible. And if you buy stuff secondhand, you're completely throttled on your choices of what you can buy. So he tells you to do some stuff that's just bad for your listing. So that's an example. There's also gurus out there who have no experience. There's a guy who calls me asking for free advice, and then he tries to sell seats for a seminar in Houston. I actually blocked him from this YouTube channel because he keeps trying to get information from me and then peddle it as like seat paying ticket worthy. And you don't sell with this is one thing that you've gotten from this channel is you don't sell unless you've earned it. We haven't even sold a course yet. We're taking our sweet time getting one out. We do meetups and we don't charge people for it. I know some of you guys don't like the fact that I keep harping on the free content side of this, but I just firmly believe, like deep down in my heart, I believe that you should give first and give for a long time. And then people will ask to pay you. They'll tip you by buying something of yours, maybe, right? If you feel me, people, leave it in the comments. So that's number one. Watch out who you get your advice from, because there's a lot of people who think that they know everything, and this is a young industry, so there's a lot of people popping up to the front of the pack claiming to know stuff, and anybody can get in front of a camera, hire a graphic designer, and claim to be good at something. So be more discerning about where you get your information, okay? That's number one. Number two, your face, use it. A lot of you guys who are starting to grow your accounts, like I've got 10, 15, 20 properties, you're so enamored with the fact that you have a business that you are essentially like leading with your business as the reason like why you have an Airbnb profile. And there's an independent study done, and I know that didn't make a lot of sense, so let me wind into this. So there's an independent study done that said that pretty people get more bookings than not pretty people on Airbnb. But not pretty people also includes people who don't have a face. If you put your logo as your profile photo on Airbnb, you get less bookings than someone who is seemingly attractive. Now, you don't have to be a runway model. You can just be smiling and you could get a good professional headshot, right? Good lighting, smiling, good angle, chin up. Maybe you do the Napoleon Dynamite thing with the football player, right? Something like that. Think of seahorses. Think of seahorses. So if you have a profile photo that is human, you're cutting ahead of the pack. But then here's the cool thing. I want you to hear me out on this. Airbnb has built their brand on connecting people with other people through home sharing. So people who are on Airbnb, a lot of the first adopters, especially a lot of the lifetime Airbnb users, love the aspect of meeting hosts, meeting humans, connecting with humans, having that human element in their experience. And that is essentially why they're on Airbnb. So if you're taking that away from them by putting a icon of your like super investment property like icon, it's actually killing your ability to get conversions from people. They're going to overlook you when they're looking you up and they can't make a decision. They're going to decide on a human person. Number three is I want you to stop being so nice. Two things. I want you to stop, one, having a flexible cancellation policy because it's not doing you as much of a service as you think it is. Okay, so this flexible cancellation policy, what it does for you is it gets you more views and it may get you more bookings, and that may make you feel good. But the problem is people who opt for a flexible cancellation policy are also the people that are less certain about their travel plans. By opting for having a flexible cancellation policy, you're adopting the problem travelers that can't seem to make commitments. And the thing is you're not a hotel. You can't book 50 customers in a 50-unit hotel, have some drop off, and day of arrival, you tell people which room to check into. Hotels can have a more flexible cancellation policy because they don't have to tell a guest what room is theirs. They can actually overbook if they wanted to. They could take 54 guests in a 50-door hotel and plan to have some drop off. And if they overbook, oh, well, let's send you to one of our partners. They could play that game if they wanted to. But the problem with us is we have a listing with a address, a front door. And when that gets booked, it's promised to the guest. I actually had a guest who said yesterday, it's a shame that your listing is so strict. And what I said to him, I'm like, hi, Peter. The thing about booking someone's home is that the moment that you book our home, that booking is promised to you. I cannot sell my home to another person just in case you cancel. If December 10th comes and you cancel, which is when you would only get a 50% refund now, I still have to drop the price of the home in order to get another booking by the time your reservation would start. What I want you to understand is that when somebody books your real estate, it's locked up. And if somebody cancels 5 days out, you'll have to drastically lower your rate, so you will lose money. Hosts, any of you who have flexible cancellation policies and chose to change it because you lost money for last minute cancellations, I'd love to hear your stories too, because I'm imagining that there's more than the ones that I know out there where somebody 2 days before arrival cancels their reservation that was 3 weeks long and they've had your calendar for 2 months. That's terrible for your business, isn't it? And then, so as you become an Airbnb business owner, you switch away from flexible, you become moderate or strict. And the amount of views you lose from being moderate as opposed to flexible, or being strict as opposed to flexible, is minimal compared to that amount of money that you could lose from somebody hitting you with a last minute cancellation. It's tough. And so that's one way that you're being too nice. And now the other way that you're being too nice is that you guys are eating so many small costs. And so the small costs that you're eating, for example, would be like somebody stains a towel, or somebody breaks a wine glass or chips a plate, things like this. You guys are just eating those costs. And at scale, at our 78 properties that we have, if we did not charge guests for washcloths, towels, wine glasses, chips and nicks and stuff like that, we would be losing $200 a day as a business. And $200 a day adds up. Right? So these resolution requests that we do, they help us stay profitable to the tune of $6,000 per month. Isn't that crazy? $6,000 a month in micro expenses that people would just shoulder because they're a host. You're a business. Just because Airbnb has built this up as a connecting people with people doesn't mean that you have to constantly be the one to lay down and get walked on. I know a lot of hosts that give so much away to get people to book their place. They leave wine out and they leave chocolates and they have fresh fruit, and they're booking for like $60 a night. You guys are like very thinly profitable already, and if somebody breaks your plate set, you're losing money. You have to guard your profitability more than that. So the way that I do this, we talk about it in multiple past videos, is just upload photos of whatever the guest damaged. Say something optimistic like, hey, we're going to try to get these stains out so we don't have to buy new towels. I just wanted to update you. Or somebody breaks a wine glass, be like, hey, don't worry, we don't have to buy an entire wine glass set. We buy these in bulk, and we'll only charge you for the one glass. You don't have to pay for a whole set. So you can have this like look on the bright side approach to when you communicate with the guest through photos. So you can upload that photo the day that the guest checks out. Wait until after the review period is over. Don't do anything combative with them or try to convince them to pay you yet. And then after that 2 weeks is over, you can then ask them to pay and then escalate it to Airbnb and then get it done. The reason why, since you uploaded a photo that day, you then have the like up to 60 days to start the claim. Isn't that really cool? Number 4, you need to stop being so entitled. Hate to call you all out because I love you guys, but something that I've struggled with and other hosts struggle with as they grow too, is you have bad guests. And you have what seems to be like stupid guests who ask the same questions all the time. And you have guests that just wear you down. They check in late when they're not supposed to. They check in early when they're not supposed to. And over time, your customer service wears down. It just happens. You get too busy for customer service. When you're a new host, you're all about communicating with your guests and having fun with them and being playful. And then by the end of it, you feel like you're entitled to have good guests. And every time you have a guest that's subpar, you groan and you make it a problem. And you express to them your distaste for them when they travel. And this will cost you your reviews. You cannot be entitled. You don't deserve your bookings. You don't deserve the best guests. You are in a business. You're in the market. You will take the good, the bad, and the ugly of the business that you're in, and you're competing directly with everybody else who provides the same service. So if you have a sense of entitlement, you'll start to lose your market share. Just secular business thing right there. So as much as you've done good last year and the year before and the year before that, for 10, 15 years you've been a host, it's not what you've done, it's what you can do for your guests today. So think about that. Stay sharp, stay competitive, because otherwise, by being entitled and being short with your guests and that kind of stuff, it's going to cost you a lot of your revenue to come. And number 5, I want you to stop what you're doing right now and like and subscribe to this video, because I see that 50% of you who watch these are not subscribed. So thank you for watching Airbnb Automated, and I'll see you on the other side.